And the rhetorical question, use of the rhetorical question brings uh, genuine value to the poem, and the hesitation brings a dramatical effect, showing that his wife is not going to tell a good news about her husband. In the second stanza, the uh, clone is perfect at his role on the stage, but at home, he is a totally different and a desperate character. And this situation is ironical for who expect expect a clone to be a happy person. The mourning of the husband shows that the truth face behind the painted face, and the differences of the reality and the fake world. Here, the phrase "king on a throne" is a metaphor. In the third stanza, the his wife uh, explains the husband's load of stress by the exaggerated words uh, seems to have the world on his shoulder, and the moment he walks through the door emphasizes that the uh, clone is uh, uh, coming to the real world from the fantasy world. In the fourth stanza, the clone changes its role into the spectator, where his wife tries to cheer him up. And the grammatical errors in the explanation shows the literacy level and the eagerness of the wife to show the situation of the husband. And the word poor soul ironically emphasizes the situation of the clone. In the fifth stanza, when we picture a clone, we picture an exhibition, and clones are outgoing personalities. Now the picture the husband in the home, but he is not uh, he's not expressing any feelings in the house. He is not telling anything, and he keeps his burden and stress inside him. The husband is introverted. There is clear juxtaposition between the professional and the personal aspects of his life. In the last two lines, Colon's citing clearly depicts that he is suffering from the heavy burden of the life, and he knows the struggle of his wife to keep him happy, and their mutual relationship is emphasized here. Thank you.
That was very wonderful, Darian. Thank you for participating. I call Banyan to talk about the poem To the Evening Star. I give aside to Banyan to talk about it.
To the Evening Star, written by William Blake. William Blake is a romantic poet who uses nature as a theme to escape from the reality. He lives in the Industrial Revolution period, there are many social problems such as pollution, high mortality rate, and prostitution. In this poem, the William Blake mainly focused on the nature to escape from the British reality. In the first line, the whole poem is a sonnet because it is contain 14 lines. A sonnet mainly contains two things. One is octave and the sectave. Octaves mainly depends on the positive, and the sectave mainly depends on the negative. In the first line, the narrator tells about the evening star, which is a planet Venus, which is near to the Earth. Though fair-haired angel of the evening, the narrator personified the Venus as a fair-haired angel because it is the Roman goddess of love and fertility. Now the sun rests on the mountain light. The sun is resting on the mountain. The sun is personified here because it is resting on the mountain. It symbolizes it is the time event is evening. Light, the bright torch of love. The narrator begs Venus to give his silver dew and its blessing to the people with a bright torch of love, and to wear the radiant gown to get power in the evening. And smiles upon our evening bed symbolize the people and the positivity. It further emphasizes the people who are resting on the evening bed in the evening times in the earth. Smiles on our loves and wise though the rose the blue casting of the sun. In these lines, the octave is changing into sextet because the positive of the evening star is seem to be the negative because after the being of the evening star, the uh, darkness is falling all over the world. The blue curtain symbolizes darkness and negativity. Scatter the silver dew on every flower that suits is sweetized. The every flower starts is sweetized metaphorically indicates the lots of happiness. Um, and the silver dew indicates holy water of the evening star. Mm. In timely sleep, let the wings sleep on the lake. The horse wheeling should be rest on the lake as the narrator begs for evening for do that. Speak silence, it's a oxymoron because we can't speak with silence. With the glimmering eyes is synecdoche because the narrator uses a body part of something to describe a similar character of something. Here, the Venus is called to use his glimmering eyes and wash the dust with silver. And with his holy water, all the uh, mm, evening should people should be washed with holy water. Soon, full soon, the dust withdraw. Soon the evening star and the Venus is gone away. The wolf ranks wide and the lion glass through the pond. The uh, ferocious predators, which are wolves and the lions, indicates negativity. When in the absence of the evening star, the negativity will get power in the night, and mm, the fleece of a flux are covered with their secret dew. The fleece of the sheep should be held and protected by your thin influence and the scattered dew. And the narrator kindly asks the evening star to protect the flock of sheep with your influence here. The in this whole poem, the narrator focuses on the planet Venus, who is the uh, called as the Diana in the Roman mythology. The main themes is of this poem is innocence versus experience. The themes of these poems are innocence versus experience, natural beauty, light and versus darkness, and purity. Thank you for uh,
Thank you, Banyan, for your wonderful explanation. And now I'm going to talk about the poem War is Kind. The poem War is Kind was written by Stephen Crane. When we see the writer, Stephen Crane was an American poet and an author. He was also a retired US military correspondent who engaged in the major wars like Spanish-American War, Greco-Turkish War, and Cuban War. Many this poem talk about his experience in the battlefield. We can also see the sequences in the novel named The Red Badge of Courage, and it is also written by Stephen Crane based on the Civil War. When we see the title, War is Kind, it's an irony. War is not kind, it brings up many disasters to the people. From this poem, the readers can imagine the impact of the war, that how the war separates the lovers, fathers, and sons and mother, etc. This poem talks about the victimization that there are no winners in the end. There will be only losers. In the first paragraph, the speaker addresses an unmarried woman, consoling her about her probably the dead soldier's lover. He explained that how her lover died in a battlefield, that the lover had fallen down from the horse and thrown his hands in order to get help from others. The explanation is seemingly not worthy enough for the dead soldier in the battlefield. He repeats the statements, not be war is kind, may suggest the way how the authorities try to cover up the real truth of behind the war. Through the repeated pressures, they try to rationalize the deaths in the warfare. The writer has used the visual imagery and metaphor in this stanza. In the second stanza, the writer talks about the soldiers, how they are mind washed by the government to fight in the battlefield. He introduced the drumming, which is used to increase the morale of the soldiers as a harsh, unhealthy sound. The little children and men were trained to kill people. They are expert in killing others. And here the poet has mentioned the god Mars, who is mentioned as the battle god in the Greek mythology. The poet refers to the glory that can be earned by fighting in the field and is difficult to feel explained to others. The poet has used a technique alteration that the drill and die got great to show the hollowness. In the third stanza of the poem, that in the stanza describes the battlefield as a place where the thousands of dead bodies are found. This is hyperbole. Then he addresses the babe, repeating his words not to weep because the war is kind. Again, by showing the agonized fate of the soldier is an unhealthy stench. The poet tries to unveil the reality of the lives of the soldiers and further shows the soldiers not with honorable death in the battlefield. The way the speaker tried to console the baby by narrating also his father died in a quiet irony. In the fourth stanza, this stanza reveals what are the factors that attract the people to join military forces and practice killing. They may be the outer glory of flags, badges, and outfits, as well as the praises, and the award they get for killing. However, the poet critically explains how the soldiers are mechanical programmed for killing and further shows the mass destruction of lives in the battle. Here the two colors are symbols. The red is symbol for danger. That is a universal one. And then he mentions as gold, that the gold is the most valuable one in the world. The last point shows how a pain of a mother is confined to something insignificant like a button. Though the mother's heart is heavy with sadness, she is compelled to accept the death of her son humbly and say, all is kind. The humbles as a button is a smile. This is the analyzing of the poem. Let's see some external points about the poem. That the poem reflects the impacts of the war, which is sympathy and horrible. That the writer has repeated the phrase "war is kind" with the help of irony. That basically the war is not kind. That the war separates the relationship. This scene can be also seen in the Sri Lankan poem "The Monument" by Kamala Vijayatna. In this poem, the parents of the Dutch soldiers are poor and there seems to be sympathy. And the soldiers are the dead victims of the war, and the lovers, wives, sons, daughters, fathers, and the mothers, and all of the soldiers' relations are the indirect victims of the war. We may see this problem in our society because our town people has been also affected by the war. So we can also see this problem. So when we see the themes of this wonderful creation of the from Stephen Crane, there are mainly three themes reflected in this poem. And the first theme is natural law. Even though we are engaged to fight in the battlefield, also we are motivated, heroic, and patriotic. It is sentimental nature. People respond to the events in opposite way due to their psychology. And the second theme is patriotism. It's a common ideology. Especially, it is common for the soldiers. They motivate the youngest to fight. This patriotism is a strong illusion by the government to motivate the soldiers to kill in the battlefield. Brutality. And in this poem, the poem talks the brutality that how soldiers are died in the battlefield and how their relations are sad. So these are the analyzing of the total poem. So in this wonderful occasion, putting to you all, in this wonderful night occasion, I warmly welcome our teacher Atchuthan Yogarajah, and I should give a big applause who made this day best. That everyone had made their presentation as a good one. By doing presentation, their knowledge will be improved. This presentation is better and effective than the memorizing. That I warmly request to, to do their presentation in a long time in the next coming programs. You should include more points that the poem that there's a famous say by Bill Gates that power comes not from knowledge but from the knowledge share. So sharing is more important, is very important in this society. So share your knowledge with your friends, families, and etc. I hope that you will make the next person is best. Good luck, everyone. God bless you. Thank you.